Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel again. We have Candice here for another episode of Feng Shui and Moldavite integrating. So we have a very exciting video today. Since November is coming up, there's gonna be a lot of spirits, a lot of energies out. Today's episode, we're gonna talk about how to elevate or create cures to help calm this yin spirit energy down. Okay, so very exciting one. If you're afraid of ghosts, don't be. We have some techniques that you can work through to help you navigate through this physical realm using Feng Shui. And then here again, we have Candice. Candice, you want to introduce yourself again to everybody here?
Yes, I'm Candice Burling. I'm a certified Feng Shui practitioner, red ribbon professional with the International Feng Shui Guild, and the host of the Learn Feng Shui podcast.
Perfect. Candice is awesome at date selections. We were just looking at the 1010 portal coming up here. And so we kind of went through it to see how do you guys prepare for it, what you need to do, and what's coming up for us to prepare for this Halloween and Day of the Dead coming up, right? There's a lot of spirits out, but 1010 seems to be the split in the road energy. So we're gonna dive deep more into it today and see what's up. So Candice, you wanna lead us down this path?
Yeah, I would love to. Let's jump right into it. My slide here, kind of looking at the energy that's coming up. It's a little bit hard to make this bigger in presentation mode, but looking at the date of 1010, you kind of just described as a split in the road. And just looking at the date itself, we're in a tiger year. So we're in the year of 2022, which is this tiger energy. And that day is it's supposed to be actually a pretty good energetically. It's supposed to be a pretty good day. But we have the day, it's all right and everything. It's not supposed to be a good energy day because it's a day that is governed by the animal side of monkey. And so if you follow Chinese astrology at all, might know that if you think of the zodiac kind of like a clock, the tiger would sit, on one number here at like number 3, and the monkey would sit directly across from it. So the energy is an opposing energy. And so I kind of think it's interesting. You've talked about kind of it being a split in the road because it's almost like these two different energies that are coming in that day. So yeah, so that's 1010. It's not a good day to do a feng shui activation because this energy is known as what's called the year breaker. We don't want to activate that and activate such a crazy energy, but it is a really good day to do a meditation, I believe. And also when I was looking through the dates, it did say it was a good day for breaking ground for burial, because I don't know how many of you guys know that feng shui actually originated from what is called yin house feng shui and originated with feng shui for burial. So it's actually a good date for burial. So kind of coming into the month of October and talking about spooky things. That's just a little extra tidbit there. But I do think symbolically it's a really good date, like you talked about, the fork in the road, for picking a path and kind of burying and bringing an end to things that are no longer serving you and kind of letting go in that way.
It's very interesting because the energy now with everything that's going in collective, many of you may be seeing a lot of 1010 numbers that's happening. I think when my friend and I went to the trip to Mexico, road trip, she saw 1010 like all over the place. And when we're talking about this fork in the middle of road, as we're doing this cleansing, purification, cord cutting, purging, right? We're letting go of the energy of the old self, which is a part of us is dying off for this new higher self to come through. And so we've done all this work all year. That old self is dying. So that's why this burial energy is in alignment, right? In Feng Shui, that's how you explain it. In Moldavite world, it's the death of an old you. And so when this 1010 fork in the road comes through, you have this new one next step. What path are you going to take? We all have our destiny up here. Everyone's going to make it. Now you choose a path. One path may be longer than the other. which is not right or wrong, but the split in the middle of the road is your next path. Make sense? So the choice is coming up very soon here for 1010. And get ready for your old self to be released so the new self can step in. Okay.
No, I think you described it perfectly. I think the duality of the energy really does show us there's one way to go or the other way to go. I love the way you worded that.
It was interesting because I saw quite a bit of 1010s on the trip, but then once I actually made the decision to go to Mexico, I came back, I started seeing 1011s everywhere. It's like I already chose a path down to go. And now the energy is going to pull me towards that path, wherever it may lead. Okay. So take notice in your reality. If you've been seeing 1010, notice that the number is 1011 moving forward. Once you make a decision, the energy is going to go towards that path.
One thing to note too, this is just kind of coming to me. So we don't have the number 10 in Feng Shui, Chinese metaphysics. We don't generally use the number 10, but when we find flying star combinations and some different things add up to the number 10, it's said to be like the perfect number. It's supposed to promote good health and all kinds of good stuff. So the number 10, even though it's not officially a Feng Shui or flying star number, it is supposed to be like a number of like wholeness, if that makes sense.
Yeah, perfect 10. Solid 10.
Yes. When we find flying star combinations that add up, we call it a perfect 10. when they add it to the number 10. Yeah.
10. Okay, let's talk about the haunting, the spirit side. Like what can we do to cure it? Okay. It's not bad. Spirit, when we're talking about negative energy, it's not bad, you guys. It's just lower frequency energy. You feel heavier in this vibration. It's like dark coming into light. Light, you feel lighter. Dark, you feel heavier. Okay, so negative is towards the heavier side.
Yeah, that's right. And sometimes we can actually see it in the feng shui of our home in different things. There's a lot of different ways that, you know, if you're feeling some spirits around, if you've seen something and you hadn't seen it previously, it might be because you activated something within your home. I think one of the most popular things, or not most popular, but one of the most common things is to find that you may have put a new fish tank in. Water is a big activator in feng shui. So sometimes if we install a new water feature, it can actually activate energies that that can bring spirits around. One of the things, or one of the ways we see that really, the flying star number 5. So the flying star number 5 is probably like that's the most commonly looked at energy for like that's considered negative, right? So we're looking at that and we're going to the west this month. It is a little bit controlled because remember the 5 is the element of earth. It's an earth energy and it can cause some different things, but sometimes it can cause you to see spirits, especially if you've activated the area with water. And one of the ways we kind of calm the energy down, first of all, you can take the water out of the area if you feel like it's, you know, if it's too much, right? If you feel like the energy is too much, I'd recommend moving that around. But we do what we call in feng shui. You can either put the coins tied with the red ribbon, or you can do what is called a saltwater cure. And it's a pretty popular feng shui type, what they call a cure.
So I'm going to clarify for everyone who's looking at this chart who has no idea what they're looking at. So this is a flying star chart for October, where the energy is moved within the home based on the star alignments. So if you go in the middle of the house, you take out your compass, the middle of the house is that yellow, take a compass, and where it directs west in that section of the house is your west area, right? So Candice, when you say water can activate the spirits, is that just a fish tank? Is it a sink?
So generally it would be something where water's sitting in like a fish tank. So if you've introduced something new with water in it, maybe you've even put up a water feature, or you're like, I need a water wall here. I really like it. And you notice that you're seeing some kind of activity, especially in that area, then that can be a big clue that maybe you activated the 5 flying star.
Okay, but you're like a small fountain will be okay. We're talking about
small
big
fountains are okay, although generally we're not doing fountains in the west this year, so shouldn't have one up there anyway. Shouldn't have one there.
All right, so if you have a small fountain,
yeah, but small fountains are okay. Yes, they are.
You can take it out for a little bit and then bring it back when the energy shifts.
Yes. So, kind of looking back at what you were saying about how to find the area, you just kind of want to locate the west within your home. I usually apply templates that look like this. So this is a little more complicated, but just for the sake of simplicity, you can totally just kind of grid your house out like this. This is a super easy way to find north, south, east and west. This is a real easy way to find it. And again, if you just kind of stand center of your floor plan, take out your compass, and you just kind of orient it, you're going to find the sector or the area that is associated with the west. So when do you want to use a cure? Like when would you want to calm an area down? What's going on? Um, First of all, we'll skip this activation area, but know that if you're using a space a lot and there's a negative energy in there, you might want to consider putting what is called a cure in that area. So when negative energies, they kind of shift around yearly, they shift around monthly, and even daily. So we don't really pay too much attention to some of the daily energies, but rather it's some of the monthly energies that can come in and kind of cause some havoc, maybe cause illness, cause some of the hauntings we talked about. Some of those energies will shift around, and you may notice you haven't had any issues before, but now you're like, I kind of have some issues. So when you want to really focus on the area, is if you're sleeping in the area. So you want to make sure that if you're using an area a lot and some negative energies have come in and you feel like some negative things are happening, you can definitely use this in any area that you have, even in a bedroom. So you don't want to activate your bedroom with water and things like that, but you can definitely put what is called a Feng Shui cure in the area. Oops.
Yeah, and then for example, my office is in the illness sector this year. And so what you can elevate with that or cure it is a board. And it looks like that. I don't know where it came from. I just found it around the house, but it says put it up in the exact corner. And then also salt cures, right? Salt cures another good thing for illness. I think salt absorbs a lot of energy, negative energy. And I didn't realize that until I created a salt cure and put it in the corner of the room. And now that I'm more sensitive to energy, I just feel this energy pull into this salt jar from all around. It's so fascinating.
And you'll notice I'll have to take a picture, or maybe we can find a picture online, but you'll notice also when you let it sit out, it'll just crystallize on top, like all the salt will crystallize around the top of it.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
Yeah.
It's quite a bit.
You can actually like see it working. It's really crazy. So we've located the west area of our home. The west was called the sector. And we're like, you know what? Maybe your bed's over here and you've been sleeping there. And you're like, I feel like some, I don't like the energy in there. So
I don't want to see any ghosts tonight. That's cool.
Yeah, or maybe you are seeing ghosts. So yeah. So one of the most popular, again, kind of what do they call Feng Shui cures is what's called a saltwater cure. So you want to take like 6 coins, and it can just be like pennies, Oh, I think I have to sneeze.
Oh. Usually sneezing indicates there's entities.
Oh,
Don't put it with salt cure right now.
Oh, no. I'm in the north. I should be okay. No.
They come when you sneeze a lot at a one time, then just be aware there's something there trying to get your attention.
Oh, okay. So yeah, one of the most popular kind of cures that kind of go around is called the saltwater cure. And I think it works pretty well. Some traditional practitioners will say no. I say try it and see if it works. But yeah, you can just take 6 coins and they can just be pennies. It is said that you need to put them head side up, and they might turn. It's okay. Sometimes they turn when you pour the water in. So you put them head side up, and it's supposed to represent the heaven trigram, which is the element of yang metal. Remember, metal suppresses and it breaks earth. So it's in the control cycle of Feng Shui. We go off all this control cycles within the elements. So metal does break down and control the earth that is present with that 5-star. A non-metal container, a glass bowl or jar. So you can use any one of those. If you're going to let it sit out and it's something you're going to let it sit out for the whole year, make sure it's not going to tip over. So you want to make sure, but yeah, make sure it's glass, it's not metal.
Because there's a lot of
So
negative energy in there, so you don't want it spilling all over the place.
yes, yeah, you don't want it to, you don't want to leak out. Exactly. So you can do coarse sea salt, or I know you asked me about Himalayan. Oh, nope. I just noticed my typo on there, pink. So say Himalayan pink salt. So you can pick your
Pick a
salt, but
salt.
yeah, pick a salt.
Oh,
So
wait,
yeah,
but does
Himalayan
Epsom
pink
salt? Does
salt.
Epsom work or no?
You know, that's more magnesium. I don't know. I've never heard of Epsom salt used.
Okay, so
I'm
stick to
not
these two.
sure.
Stick to
I'm
these.
not sure. Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, you take Epsom salt baths, at least I do,
I know.
to cleanse myself. So yeah, and one of the things that I've heard is that you need to use sea salt. Like some people say just use sea salt because it represents the ocean, and it's a big body of water.
Mhm.
So I don't know. I've done sea salt before, but I think you can also choose Epsom or pink, Himalayan pink salt. So yeah, see, you can play around with it and see what you like. There's no rules because it's not really a traditional feng shui, cure. It's kind of something that's been adapted, but I do believe it works. Yeah, you just fill it up with water. And this is the important part is you do want to use date selection for best results to activate this cure. And so I've heard from some different practitioners that use it. You do need to tie a red ribbon around using date selection, which I have up every month on my blog. I have best dates. You just pick one of those dates that's kind of indicated on there. You can activate that jar by putting the red ribbon around it, and you can place it in the area that needs to be placed on that same date.
Do you have a date on the top of your head for them
You
to
can definitely use 1010. You can use the 1010 date.
1010? Perfect.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah,
good choice.
sure can.
I also want to touch base on the red ribbon. All right, so uh, when I was watching all these YouTube videos on how to make a salt cure, nobody talked about this red ribbon. And when Candice brought it up again during the presentation, I was like, that's interesting. There's this very famous monk here in Houston. His name is Uncle Nine, right? Nine's a very heavenly number. And you got celebrities coming here to do readings for him, and like having to tap in for them. And my Asian culture is here, they would always come to him to bless the business. So every time we go to him, he has this huge temple here. And he talks to us, or he reads our guidance. He would always give us a blessed water bottle and with a red ribbon tied on it. And now that Candice mentioned this ribbon activates something, is an activation of some sort. I look back at it, and the message he told us is, I think, men drink it for 7 days, women drink it for 9 days, that water bottle, and then when you're done, you tie the red ribbon on your arm. It's very interesting you brought this up. I haven't heard too much about the red ribbon, but now things are overlapping. We're making more sense of what's happening, but it is some kind of activation with water. Anything else you want to add to that, Candice? I know we kind of briefly went over it earlier.
Not really, just kind of reiterating on the red ribbon. I know, like I said, I'm my feng shui group that I study with, we have a resident Chinese master, and he talks about the red ribbon. And he talks about opening specifically with like different statues and stuff like that, and sometimes tying the red ribbon on them to what is called open the eye. Oh, that was weird. It just moved by itself. I didn't even touch that. Oh,
Oh, the spirits are there.
hello.
Here with you.
What's going on? That's so strange. Yeah. So, but yeah, and so I've heard that used also. The lady I heard that from also was Chinese, and so I'm sure it's probably like a Taoist or a Taoist sort of practice. So if anyone can elaborate on that, but yeah, she is the one that talked about using the red ribbon on the salt cure to activate it. So yeah, you can just use that. And again, we could do that on 1010. We can place our jar in the west to kind of absorb the negative energy from that star that's coming in, so it doesn't cause us any issues, particularly if you're sleeping in the west sector of your home, or if it's an area you use a lot. And then, yeah, you just throw that entire jar away. The energy shifts out. The Chinese calendar goes off the solar calendar, so it shifts out around November 7th or 8th. So when the new energy comes in, you just toss that away. Just throw it away.
Oh, okay. So is it a monthly thing? Because when the other YouTube videos I watch is they just put it out and they just refill the jar. Or you can
So
put it.
yeah, I just you can take it as you want. There is different ways to do it. But generally, I did touch that. But generally, this is just for the month in the West. So you can definitely have somewhere you set it out for the entire year if the flying star there is particularly negative. So you mentioned being in the Southwest. You could definitely put one in the Southwest also to kind of cure and calm the energy from that star that's associated with illness. So you can find the Southwest if you're home and put one there. And you can again just use date and time selection. Check my blog post for that. Use date selection, and you can leave that out until like February 7th or 8th or so, and just toss that away.
Okay, so for this salt jar that we're talking about, it's for absorbing spirits.
It's for absorbing negative energy. So
Okay.
it's supposed to calm an energy down also, but it is also a cure. It's supposed to absorb the negative energy from the illness star and that negative 5 star. So,
Got it.
so it can definitely absorb and calm negative energies.
Right. And then if spirits are out, so spirits are just energy, right? Ascended masters, angels, they're higher realm frequency energy. So they're higher vibe. But when we're talking about the salt cures, we're absorbing the low vibrational energies, the one that aren't there for your own good.
Yes.
That's what we're doing the salt cures for. But yeah, I was going to show you guys my salt cure in the room, but it has some kind of buildup. I don't want to bring the energy into the video. So it's there. It works, basically. Oh, and then those Feng Shui coins, is it recommended to use the coins, or any pennies or nickels would work?
So I've heard it said that, I mean, you really want to use a coin that's actually has metal in it, and some of those are just kind of, so you can try them again. Some people say use them, some people say don't. So this is very flexible in that you can kind of play around with it and see if you like the way it feels. If you feel like it works for you, you can play around with it and add different kinds of salt or different kinds of coins to see which ones you like the best. So it's pretty flexible, flexible.
And how if it's a bigger space, we can have more than one salt jar, right?
Yeah, you can either have more than one or you can have a large container. I've heard some people say they actually put a large bag of sea salt in a big bowl if they have a very large house. So I don't tend to do that just because I don't want it to spill out or get messy. So yeah.
Oh, and then just a tip for everyone watching here, you want to like have something at the bottom to hold all the salt that does end up falling out so it doesn't go all over the place. Maybe like a bowl or what is it? A can that covers around it, something to leave the salt inside when the jar is in the middle. Okay, so you don't want all this bad energy salt all over the place, especially if you have pets too.
Yeah, that makes a good point. Yep, I agree.
And then when everything's done, just toss it away. You can throw the water in the ground, right? Or how should you throw it away?
Honestly, I've just bagged the whole thing up and like double, triple bag it and just throw it all away. I never try and drain it or touch it or anything. Yeah, I just throw everything away. The water and everything.
All right, so that's the way how you dispose it, guys.
You'd look at the flying stars, whatever you look at where different energies are, and you notice there is like clutter, or if you notice you need to clean something out, get rid of stuff, I would say go ahead and do that. Like you kind of talked about your office being in the Southwest and the fact that you rearrange your furniture and it just feels better. So if you feel like you're being drawn to the area, definitely get in there and like clean it out and stuff like that. You're not going to, hurt anything by cleaning stuff out. So I would say,
Sure.
And extend that to the outside of your home too. If you see like there's a lot of buildup of like leaves, clutter, debris, clean that up too.
Yeah. Whenever, so yesterday we were talking about the equinox that just finished. I just got this really strong intuitive hit to clean and rearrange the room. It was very strong, so I just spent the whole day rearranging the room, right? Because when the energy shifts, you want to be in flow with the energy. But when it's a strong intuitive hit, follow your intuition or use the intuition check. But and if you want to get more specific, you can always reach out to Candice. And she would be your go-to person for Feng Shui and date selection. If there's something else that's on your mind, important date that's coming up, I would recommend Candice.
Thank you. And also, if you don't know how to find the sectors, areas of your home, I can totally help you do that. That's something I offer to do for everybody. So that way you can, benefit from Feng Shui, doing the cures and activation. So if you need help finding these areas within your home, shoot me a message. I'll be happy to do it.
Absolutely. So Candice information is in the description below. Other than that, we'll keep it simple for everyone here, how to manage the energy coming in with spirits, Day of the Dead coming up. And again, don't be afraid. They're just energy. When you are afraid, you're in fear, you are getting to their level. And that's how they make you more afraid. Okay. Any questions, feel free to reach out to us. Other than that, thank you everyone for joining in. Thank you, Candice, for being here for this month's episode. We may do this every month, depending on if there's an important date coming up. So I hope everyone got something out of it. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and also Candice's YouTube and podcast. Everything is in the description below. And that, thank you everyone. Thank you, Candice.
Thank you.
Good day. Bye.